guys, I'm back with my computer once again. So as you all know, it's nearly Vietnamese Book Day, right? I love Book Day because I love reading books. As you see here, I have this bookshelf right behind me. I love reading books so much that I even give a presentation at my school about my favorite book of all time, Wave Me Goodbye. But this video is not about books, but it's about vocabulary related to books. So as to celebrate it, I want to make a video about all the vocabularies that I have found that are related to books. Alright, make sure you comment down below, what is your favorite book? Well, my favorite book is this one. Wave Me Goodbye is my favorite book. I think you already knew it because I showed it to you guys many times before. So as I remembered, on Wednesday this week, on the 20th of April, it will be Vietnamese Books Day. So it's nearly there. 2 days more, it will be Vietnamese Book Day. So here's the vocabularies that I have found. So let's learn together. First is some vocabulary about books. Of course, the first vocabulary is that we have to have the word book. Yeah, a book. Book. I even have a pronunciation here, so make sure you pronounce it the right way. Book. Book. So you see, you see my mouth carefully and you pronounce it. Book. Here is booklet, a small book. Do you want to see an example of a booklet? If you want, then I will show you right now. Okay, back again. Here's an example of a booklet. I just grabbed those two books from my shelf. That's why I stopped the video a little bit. So those are booklets, small books. Booklet, booklet, booklet. Today is so many vocabulary, so we gotta move fast, guys. We gotta slow. So booklet, the next word is page. Yeah, each page is like page, each page. Like for example, this book, it has 260 pages. 260 pages. Smell nice. So yeah, page. Bookshop, a place that you buy books. Bookshop. Bookshop, the stress in the first syllable. Bookshop, a place you buy books. Next word is, bookworm. I'm an example of bookworm. A bookworm is someone that loves reading books. And every time when they are free, they don't have to study or don't have to do anything. They will always bury their head in a book. But I'm not a bookworm, sadly. I do love books, but I'm not that addicted to books, When I got some free time, I have to enjoy myself a little bit. Each day I will spend about 2 hours reading books, but I'm not a bookworm for sure. I don't bury my head every time I got a free time, so I'm not a bookworm. Here's author. Author, for example, my favorite book, the author is Jacqueline Wilson. Author is someone who wrote the book. Author. We got poet, some mini poems that are famous. So the poet is someone who wrote a poem. We got so many words today, so we gotta move fast. You see, I move really fast. Probably if we don't have any word, then I will move really slow, but today we have so many words. Biographer. Biographer. Someone who writes, novels. Biographer. Someone who wrote novel. Next we got playwright. Playwright. Someone who wrote plays, many plays. Let me see if there are any plays. The Cinderella plays or the Romeo and Juliet plays. So playwright is someone who wrote the plays. Oh, the famous playwright is called someone who wrote the famous play called Romeo and Juliet, written by Shakespeare. So playwright. Someone who wrote play. Next is bookseller. You probably know. Book, a book, seller, someone who sells something. So bookseller together is someone who sells book. Bookseller. Bookseller. Move on to the next word, which is content. Content. For example, I have this small booklet dictionary. Love this so much. I learned so many words in here. So I got this small booklet dictionary, and the content of this book is vocabulary. For example, another book, Wave Me Goodbye, the content is about the Second World War. So that's the content of each book. each book will have a content, and the content of each book will be different content, like the meaning and what's inside the book. Next is chapter. What we Goodbye have, I remember, is 23 chapters. So each chapters will tell a different story about the main character. So chapter. Read, yeah, you're reading a book. I held this book, Girls in Tears, and I read it. So yeah, for example, I'm reading a book. Yeah, I love reading books. I've got so many books by Jacqueline. Next, we got story. Oh, I love reading stories when I was a little girl. Like some short stories. Jacqueline does have a short story. For example, this book is some short story. It may look very thick, but inside this book is many short stories written by Jacqueline Wilson. So Paws and Whisker are some short stories. Next we got atlas, a map, like foot maps. Atlas, map. Bookmark, you have a bookmark. I have bookmark too, but I cannot show you here because it is right there very far away from my computer desk. So I cannot show you my bookmark. Yeah, but bookmark is something that you can mark your page when you were reading. For example, I read at page 200. So I use a small bookmark and I clip it. And I can know which page I'm reading the next time. Bestseller. Here's the bestseller book. This Paws and Whisker books is one of the most bestseller books by Jacqueline of all time. You know, many people, they love the book and they buy it so much. So bestseller. Next is biography. Biographer and biography. So biographer is someone who wrote biography, and biographies is the book that the biographer wrote. Smart. Next is plot. My nose is quite runny nowadays. So plot is, what's the story about? For example, Romeo and Juliet. The plot is about the love story of Romeo and Juliet. Plot. Next word is masterpiece. This book is a masterpiece. It is one of the bestsellers around the world, and until now, I've read this book for 20 years and it's still the bestseller. So masterpiece, for example. This computer is a masterpiece because it's so famous. Masterpiece. Next is fiction. Something that's not real, for example, Harry Potter. Is Harry Potter real? I don't think so. Harry Potter isn't real. So Harry Potter is a fiction character. And Sherlock Holmes, is Sherlock Holmes real? No, I don't think so. Sherlock Holmes isn't real. So Sherlock Holmes is a fiction character. And now are some vocabulary about genres of books. There are many genres of books, or you can say many kinds of books, but when you say genre, it's better. So there are many types or many genres of books, which I will show you. You can have a textbook which is the usual book that you will learn at school. Vietnamese textbook, math textbook, English textbook, many kinds of textbook. Next we got novel. For example, this one is a novel. This is a thin novel. But for example, Jacqueline With Me Goodbye book is also a novel. Yeah, novel. Or we got picture book. Picture book is a kind of book that children mostly read, especially some nursery children. It's a really small child at 3 years old or 4 years old. They cannot read yet. So they just read some picture book, which, see the pictures they're very interested in. So picture book. For example, they cannot know what is Girls in Tears because kids cannot read this yet. But when you see the tears and some girls, they will definitely know that this book is about some girls is crying, right? So yeah, that's called picture book. Next, we got reference book. I've got several math reference books because I love learning math. It will make me smarter. So reference book, some books that will help me learn better and I can learn about that. Reference book. Comic. My house, sadly, we don't have any comic. Wait, I think we do have a comic. I'll come right back with this comic. Wait for me, you have to get this comic. So here, if you want, this is the comic about and staying. Look. Comic. This is comic book. Comic book is all these pictures and some lines. So this is a comic book about and staying. my favorite scientist. So comic book. Ah, poem. We just come across poet. So poet is the person who writes poem, and poem is something that the poet writes. Next is hardcover. So let me show you the example of a hardcover. This is a hardcover. Very hard, right? I cannot flip it. A hardcover. But this is the example of paperback. So this is paperback. It's like very thin. You can wrap it. Paperback and hardcover. Hardcover is the cover which is really hard, and paperback is the cover really thin. It's really soft. Next word is exercise book. The book that you do exercise in, like my English exercise book. I have to do my English exercise book later, which I have to do English exercise in there. So exercise book. Next I've got magazine. Do you read magazines? Well, I like to read fashion magazine because I love to see some dresses, some new piece of fashion. I like reading fashion magazine. Magazine. Next we got autobiography. Like, autobiography. My throat. Autobiography. But in my house, I don't think we have any autobiography. And I don't really usually read autobiography. That's red because of the coughing. I don't know what's happened with my voice. Encyclopedia. I bet your house have one encyclopedia. My house have tons of encyclopedia. It's like a book which has almost the information you need. For example, animal encyclopedia. All the things about animals. Science encyclopedia. All the things about science. Food encyclopedia. All the things about food. Even human encyclopedia. All the things about human. I love reading encyclopedia. Thriller book. Like some book like Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is thriller book. I love reading Sherlock Holmes so much. So Sherlock Holmes is thriller book. Dictionary. That's what I'm looking for. This is a dictionary. You can learn all new words inside. You see those words? Those are a dictionary. Lots and lots of words. And I can't even learn them all. But I use this to learn new words. Dictionary. So my dictionary right there. Short story. Yeah, like I told you before. I've got many short stories including Paws and Whisker. Inside, there are many short stories inside a thick book. Next word we have, let's see, cookery book. A book which helps us to cook some food. Do you have a cookery book at home? Luckily, we don't need a cookery book because my mom, she is the best chef. So we don't need a cookery book. Yeah, but a cookery book is the book that will teach you how to cook some amazing food. Here we got some non-fiction. Non-fiction is some book that writes about the real thing. So fiction is the book that is not real. The character in that book is not real. But non-fiction is the character in the book. Maybe this book is based on some real story and they wrote in the book. So non-fiction. Science fiction book. Yeah, some stories that are not real but in science. There are many kinds of science fiction book as well. Next up, what do we got here? Oh, move on, we got some genres of stories. The last one is genres of books, but now it is some genres of story. So the first genre is fairy tale. When we were little, we always read fairy tales like Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, lots of fairy tales. I love reading fairy tales when I was little, but now I don't think I like reading fairy tales anymore. Next, we got myth. Some story about myth, for example, some mythical creatures, maybe about the Loch Ness or Bigfoot. Those are myth stories. Or ghost stories. Do you like reading ghost stories? I don't think so. I'm a ghost hater and I hate seeing ghosts. I'm also pretty scared of ghosts too, so I don't usually read ghost story and I don't even have one in my house. Next is comic. We already went through comic. For example, this is some comic you see. Yeah, comics. All those pictures and the lines, those are comic. Which my house have several comics when I was little. So this is a comic. Next is some detective story. Detective story like Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is a detective story too. Next word is funny story. There are some funny story, like some comedy story. I love reading them. They're so funny. For example, this book, Mr. Stink, is also a funny story too. Talking about this man, he stinks a lot, and it's so funny, guys. I bet you have to read this about Mr. Stink. So this is a funny story. Next, we got short story. Again, we always watch short story. Now, to our next topic is some, emotion. When we read a book, it may be sad. We may be sad when we read a book, or we may be happy, or we may be laughing when we read a book. It's so funny. We have to laugh. Let's see some words. Health, our health. Next is art. The art of the book. They wrote so beautifully. So art. Psychology, about our mind. I hate reading psychology book. It's so confusing. My houses have one or two, but it's from my dad. And psychology book is so confusing, and it just confused my mind so much. Next, we got hobby. So we read books based on our hobbies. My hobbies, I love reading books like funny books or some thrilling story or some adventure book. I love them all. That's my hobby. Or history. For example, this book would be goodbye about the Second World War. That is history too, right? So history. Knowledgeable. Is this book knowledgeable? All my books that I read are very knowledgeable, and it helps me a lot in the future. So knowledgeable means helpful. Is this book helpful? Yes, of course. That's why I read it. Knowledgeable. Let's see if there's any other word. We got foreign language. So you can read books in several foreign language. But I usually read books in English, which is a foreign language too. I usually read books in English. Rarely read books in Vietnamese, for sure. I got satire. Satire are some books that, they tell the story of something bad. Satire. This, you can already see the Vietnamese meaning right here. Next, I got guide. A guiding book, like a tour guide book. For example, you go somewhere traveled and you cannot hire a tour guide. So you can buy a guide book. It can guide you everywhere, even though in that book. Religion. Well, I'm not religion. I'm not really religious. And many people are religious, like in the Muslim or in other kind of religion. So about religion book as well. Precious. All my books are so precious to me, and they're really, really important. If I miss one, I will cry all day, and I will never be able to read like normal again. All my books are so precious. Mystery. There are mystery books, like some ghost story. They are also very mysterious. We got novel, like novel book. I don't think my house have any types of novel. And square time. Square time is like spare time or free time, but we can call it square time. That's like quite very unusual to me. Some free time. Punctual. Be very serious. I'm very punctual when I read some books. Like I'm very serious when I read some books. I pay attention to the book. Punctual. Interesting. A book can be interesting. Yeah, every book I read is so interesting. Next is disturb. My cousin kept disturbing me when I read a book. Like, she kept disturbing me, and it's so annoying. I cannot read at all because she disturbed me a lot. We got complete. I complete this entire book in 1 week. Complete something. Complete reading something. Loyal. Be always loyal to your books because it will cost you someday. Loyal. I love this word. Or enjoyment. It's so much fun when I read a book. Enjoyment. Next word we got developed. Developed. Something grow, like a city developed something. Grow. Developed. Inspiration. This book is a great inspiration. It inspired me a lot because it helps me to know more about the Second World War. Inspiration. Encourage. This book encouraged me to read more books about history. So it encouraged me. Or definitely. Yeah, I'll definitely read this book. That's the end of all our words. We have come through lots and lots of words today, and it's 20 minutes already. So we learned tons of words about books today, right? I hope you find this video interesting, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!